people of the world, and welcome to today's episode of Coffee Chats with Jax. For this video, I wanted to kind of give you guys a little disclaimer here at the beginning that most of the information I'm going to tell you guys today came from my teachers at my school, Alan and AJ Jones. Just want to, as they say, give credit where credit's due. Most of what I'm about to share with you, I learned from them in school last week. That being said, today I really wanted to talk to you guys about the topic of boundaries. Yes, I have made videos about this in the past, but you guys, I learned so much about what boundaries actually mean, what they actually are last week in school, and it was really helpful because I learned it in a different light. Boundaries give us the freedom to say no so that we also can have the freedom to say yes. So my teachers last week kind of used the example of a hula hoop. Everyone is inside their own hula hoop, and whatever is in their own hula hoop is their responsibility, and whatever is not in their hula hoop is not their responsibility. We're all in our own hula hoops, meaning we are all our own responsibility. And that's it. At the end of the day, we can only control ourselves. We are only responsible for ourselves. So many people go around trying to jump into other people's hula hoops, trying to control how they're feeling, trying to make them do certain things. When someone doesn't have good boundaries, they make themselves like a victim of everything else around them. Like if someone wanted me to help them move and I was too scared to say no, so I went and helped them move out of thinking that I had to, and I did that and I resented them and I was mad and I was upset, and then I missed out on all these other fun things and I didn't get sleep, and I end up blaming this person for making me help them move when honestly that's my fault. I had every right to say no. That's my responsibility that I decided to go help them move. So in other words, I'd be blaming this person for my hurt. No one can make you feel a certain way. No one can make you do something. Like, we have control over ourselves. We're allowed to say no to literally anything that we're uncomfortable with. It's like a kind of a new concept for me. Say someone is crossing your boundary and someone is getting into your hula hoop and trying to control things about your life, trying to manipulate you into feeling guilty of certain things or feeling bad when you shouldn't have to feel bad, or feeling like you owe them your time or you owe them this, or any kind of manipulation whatsoever. If they're crossing your boundary and trying to change things that are inside your hula hoop and you go to them and confront them, they're not always going to feel great after you do that. And sometimes we have to have those hard conversations with people, and sometimes we have to tell them, hey, listen, I love you, but I feel bad when you do this. Because there's a way to have this kind of confrontations that are healthy, but the thing is that at the end of the day, you can't control whether or not that person feels good after that conversation, because we can't control someone else's feelings. That's honestly really relieving, because the only person we can control is ourselves. That people like to throw around the verse about, why are you trying to get the speck out of your neighbor's eye when there's a log in your own eye? People throw that around a lot, but I think that verse actually fits in really well with this, because that person, like in the verse, is going around trying to control people and change them. The thing with boundaries is that the truth of like life is actually there's no possible way to control how other people are. Like, we can only control how we are and how we respond and we react, and that's it. That's all that's in our hula hoop. And so if someone else responds to this boundary conversation, gets pissed and goes off and is angry, that's not on us. That's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to make sure that we handled ourselves right and make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. You guys, that's kind of hard for me because I'm what my school likes to call a high responder, which means that my number one thing is like making sure I'm connecting with people and making sure people are okay, and just like really strong like connections and relationships. And so that's really hard for me personally, I'm gonna be really honest, like to not worry about how someone else is feeling. If I'm standing up for myself and someone gets mad, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, I don't want this person to be mad. Like the best example for this is in families, because guys, families are hard, and families probably, just because it's such a different kind of dynamic and a different kind of relationship, they're gonna break your boundaries more than anyone else. That's just how it is. I mean, maybe it's not for you, maybe it's not, I don't know, but in like things that I've seen and experienced, families where that is kind of more difficult than just normal daily life. Sometimes in those conversations where you have to have with people in your close circles or people in your families or something, it's hard to be honest about, hey, actually, I am not going to come home for Thanksgiving because I want to have Thanksgiving here, and I'm a grown adult, and that's okay. Those kind of conversations could possibly hurt people and make people upset. But the thing is, you're not making them upset, they're choosing to be upset. And so it's really hard, at least for me, to accept that. And that's something that we were learning last week that is going to be something that I'm going to work on. If we don't feel the freedom to say no when we don't want to do something, then we actually don't have the freedom to say yes when we do want to do something. Because that was really cool to me, because at the end of the day, you guys, we want to help people, we want to serve people, like that's part of our role. But if we're serving and helping people out of obligation, which means we feel like we can't say no to it, there's absolutely no point, because it's 110% about the heart behind it. That's what matters at the end of the day. And if your heart feels like you have to do something, it's not very kind. Boundaries are hard, but I'm so excited about them because they're changing my life already, and it just starts small. Give yourself permission to say no if there's things that you actually don't want to do. Like, I think these are just gonna make us healthier humans and more rested humans, and take away the idea that we're a victim of each other, and take away the idea that we have to control everybody and that we can choose joy. Yeah, you guys, I love you. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't heard, I am writing a book, and I released the first 3 pages of that book on my Patreon page exclusively for patrons only. Once we hit the next goal, I'm going to release 2 more pages. So guys, if you want to be able to have exclusive first sneak peek access to my new book, then the link to my Patreon page is in the description box below. That's where you get involved in my ministry and just support what I'm doing. And there's also a link in the box on the side of the screen there. Or you guys, I'm going to Iceland with my ministry school. I'm so excited, but I need your help to get there. So if you want to give to that mission trip to Iceland, the link's also in the description box below. I love you guys. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you next time.